session, as always, you're going to need a few little bits and bobs. So do go and grab everything that you might need. I use this panettone tin as my beloved yoga brick, something just a little bit higher than the earth to put my hands or whatever else on. I've got a yoga strap here, but if you don't have a yoga strap, then grab a dressing gown cord or a belt. I'm going to do a little bit with the upper body this evening. So a little bit of all of this, wiggling around, using the strap as a little bit of resistance. So you're going to want something that you can pull against. I always sit on a cushion that I kind of use a little bit like a bolster as well. But if you want more cushions, if you want pillows, stack yourself up and maybe grab yourself something nice and cozy to put on. As always, use your music, use my music. Make the space nice and cozy, light a candle, put some incense on, something that makes you feel really relaxed. Get all of your senses involved. And this evening is a little bit of a mixture. I'm going to try and focus on upper body release, into the shoulders, upper back. We'll work into the legs, as always. They're such a huge muscle, huge body group, so we want to target them just a touch. So first of all, bring yourself into a comfortable seat, kneeling, cross-legged, whatever it may be. And the mudra for this evening is a hand to heart, one hand to the earth. So place your left hand to your heart and just place the right fingertips just on the ground, just on the earth below you. Close your eyes. And gather yourself here, as we're going to be here for a few minutes just to watch our breath, the pace of our breath, observe our heartbeat. Try and relax the forehead, the cheeks, the tongue, the eyelids. Take a big breath in through your nose and a big sigh out through your mouth. And again, inhale. Big exhale. One more inhale. One more exhale. And just take your time this evening, sat here, hand to heart, hand to earth. And I saw this mudra done just a little bit earlier, and it inspired me as what my teacher wrote about it. It was so beautiful. And so I'll just read that to you for a moment. She describes this particular mudra as a way to connect to the earth and a way to remind herself to walk upon it and walk upon her gently. She who bears witness to the whole of my journey. And it's so true. We have to have this relationship to the ground that we walk on, to those that live upon it with us. There's appreciation, respect, love, compassion, devotion to the place that holds us here. And even though it's this tumultuous time and uneasy, uncertain, we're all bearing witness together and watching it all unfold. So we're going to stay in a comfortable seat. I'm going to stretch out the neck. So as always, trying to tap into the neck and the upper back. Bring your yoga brick out in front of you, just out in front of your right knee. Slightly in front of it. If you need to change your seat slightly, totally fine to go into a position that really suits you. And you want to slide your right fingertips high upon the brick and let your left hand just rest down on your left thigh, maybe to the ground as well. And then drop your left ear over your left shoulder and stretch out the right side of your neck. Close your eyes again. And while you're here, think about your posture. Think about your spine. How you connect the sit bones to the ground, to the earth. Watch the stretch make its way down the right side of your neck, down your right shoulder, your right arm, and your palm. Have a slight lift in the right underarm. And slow down your breath. Try not to collapse the body as you exhale. And you're welcome to drop your chin slightly. Keep your right arm where it is and play around with a really slow roll of your head, perhaps towards the center, towards your chest, and then back over to the left ear. Reach all the way down to your right fingertips. And it's nice to add a little bit of movement. The body wants to move. Even when we're in these lovely long holds, there's perhaps a bit of movement that can get us slightly deeper into the feeling, into the sensation of the posture. You're going to keep your head where it is, and what I want you to do with the right hand is turn the right palm up. Flex the hand and maybe use your brick to rest your fingertips just on it, like someone is sort of pulling your fingertips back towards your wrist. Maybe you even want to start to press your palm down onto the brick or the tin if you're using one like me. Just for a moment. And then release that little flex of the hand and wrap your right arm around the back of you to now grab hold of your left elbow crease. Grab the opposite arm. Keep your left ear over your shoulder. Have a moment where you feel like you're about to tilt all the way over to the left side. But as you inhale, gather your torso back up to the center. And if you like that sensation of almost falling to one side, keep it going. Gather yourself back up, draw your ribs into the forearm behind you, remind yourself of your posture. It's nice to move with the length of your breath. One more breath here. Keep your head where it is. Exhale, release your right arm, and I want you to draw a big circle with your right arm over the head. So it's more like a tilt, going over to the left side of the body at that little side reach. Exhale, slowly gather yourself back up bit by bit. Bring your right arm down by your side, bring your chin back closer to your chest. Rest your hands onto your thighs. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And a big sigh out through your mouth. And then slide your brick over to the other side, over to your left leg. Come up onto your left fingertips. Let your right palm rest upon your right thigh. Have a moment where maybe you want to wiggle around a little bit to find your comfortable seat. And when you're ready, rest the right ear over your right shoulder. Reach all the way out through to the left fingertips. In this position, take your awareness to your collarbones. Can you broaden, lengthen the collarbones? It's quite easy when we get very relaxed in a pose to sort of draw the shoulders forward, round. Keep the collarbones active and open. Feel free to then roll the head more to the center of the chest and then back over the right shoulder if you wish. Adding that tiny amount of movement into the pose. Imagine there's a little lift in the left underarm or lift in the left elbow. So there's a softness around the joints. And then you can play around with your left hand here. Turn the left palm up. Rest your fingertips just on the brick and feel as though someone is pushing your fingertips to you or pulling your fingertips to you, and you're pushing your palm towards the brick. Without leaning into it too much. So there's a bit of resistance here up the inner seam of your left arm. And then release the left hand and wrap the left arm around the back of you. Grab hold of your right elbow crease. Pull the right elbow in a little bit closer to your waist and then re-drop the right ear over your right shoulder. Breathe your left shoulder down. And if you want to add in that little bit of motion, tilt to the right. Exhale, tilt back up to center. Nothing too nuts. Just a tilt. That this movement feels completely organic and completely natural in your body as you yawn into the pose itself. And again, maybe there's a little adjustment with the chin. Forward, side, back. Breathe your ribs or your lower spine into the left forearm behind it. Remind yourself of your posture. And you can start to let go of your right elbow. Circle the left arm all the way up and begin to tilt over to the right. As far as you can, stretch between every rib. And then exhale, gather yourself back up to center. Rest your hands down on your thighs. Drop your chin to your chest. Big breath in through your nose. Big sigh out through the mouth. And now from here, I want us to come into a pose called dangling. So it's the only yin posture that we do standing up. There's two different ways that you can take this. You can take it up against the wall. So if you don't mind walking yourself towards a wall, then take yourself towards it. If you don't have a wall, then you can do this just on your mat. So if you're going just on the mat, bend your knees. Bend your knees and rest your hands to the ground. If you need your brick or anything higher to rest your hands on, then absolutely do so. And relax the head eventually, belly towards your thighs. Definitely bend your knees. Weight back in your heels, and you kind of have this moment where you can sort of rock it a little bit forward and back on the balls of your feet to the heels of your feet. Now this is particularly nice up against the wall. So if you can, rest your hips and your bum towards the wall, heels a bit closer towards the wall as well. Slight bend in the knees, drop your head, your arms, your shoulders forward, and hang here. And we're gonna hang here probably close to the 5-minute mark, maybe a little bit less. And drop the weight of your body. This is a great opportunity to become very physically aware of the back of your body. And whether you are hanging off of the joints of the lower back, or if you're really using your hips to fold from. So I'll show a couple of differences. If you feel very, very comfortable with where you are and happy in your body, stay there. You can have a posterior tilt in your pelvis, which is what I'm demonstrating right now. And this is me very much hanging off my lower back and kind of almost Neanderthal-like. What I'm trying, and see the knees are locked and the legs are disengaged. What I want you to try and find is a softness in the knees, a slightly more anterior tilt in your pelvis where it tilts back and up. And definitely bend your knees to feel a deep stretch in the hamstrings. If we're cutting ourselves off at our lower back here and locking the knees, we're actually shortening the hamstrings. And over time, this is just going to cause a lot of pressure on our lower back. So bend your knees, rest the hands down onto something higher than the ground if you need to, or if you're comfortable with them down on the floor, great, relax. Try and start to bring your ribs towards your belly, and do not be afraid to bend your knees a bit more to get that sensation. Ribs and belly towards your thighs, towards your thighs. And here when you're down, you can always add a little tiny baby rock into the heels and then back into the balls of your feet. Relax your head. You may even sometimes want to remind the head to relax. You can interlace your fingers behind the head and the neck. Every inhale is a chance to get a little bit longer in the spine. Every exhale is perhaps an opportunity to get a little bit closer towards the legs. And absolutely, if you are quite flexible in your hamstrings, you can aim to straighten your knees a little bit more, but be fully aware and embodied with your lower back. If straightening the knees, because the ego wants to straighten the legs and think that this is the more impressive pose, starts to then round your spine and your pelvis tucks under, then catch yourself out on it. Keep the softness in your knees because that's going to start to engage the legs more. And overall, when you're in that position and it's being conducted properly and well in your body, the entire posterior chain, all the way from the back of the head, the back of the neck, the shoulders, the spine, the glutes, the legs, the calves, and into the soles of the feet, is having this moment as one. That it's not just about stretching the legs, that it's not just about one component of your body. The back of your body supports you so much day to day. In my opinion, it often really suffers because we can't see it. Our focus can become so much about the front of our body. We see it in the mirror. We can see it when we look down and to the side. The posterior chain is built for strength and support. And it's rare that it gets a lot of attention. The hamstrings definitely do get attention, but we need to integrate that with the rest of the back body. So you're going to go for one more minute. Nice, long, slow, soft breaths. And sometimes it's just great. It's a great feeling to get the blood to rush towards the head. So to come out of the pose, you're welcome to start to heel toe your feet a little bit wider. Those of you up against the wall, you can walk your feet forward a little bit more. And you can begin to drop your bum down. So we're more in a squat, a little bit more like a malasana. And this squat can be quite passive. So it's okay to just bring yourself down a bit closer to the ground. A little rock from side to side. And then eventually, if you are up against the wall, you can then crawl yourself towards your mat. And those of you on the mat already, crawl your hands forward, swing the legs round, and we're going to come into rebound pose. Lie your legs down, lie your body back. Feel the ground beneath your spine now, hugging the posterior chain. Rest the hands out wide, hands on your body. Simply breathe into it. And can you drop any tension you're holding in your glutes, in your shoulders, in your face, in your hands, in your feet? Start to move your fingers and your toes. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Exhale, hug your knees to your chest and either rock over to one side or rock yourself up to come up into a seat. So bring yourself into kneeling and grab your strap. If you need to have a bit of a wiggle after that forward fold, do what you have to do. So that really is the only one that we do standing up. So it's a nice anomaly. Now with your strap, whatever kind of belt or strap you've got, try and wrap your fists around them towards the edges of the strap a couple of times so that you have a really nice juicy grip. And then with this strap, you can start to circle it around. Play around with the range of motion in your shoulders. It's impressive. Take it in slow motion. Linger over to one side, maybe even bend your elbow, bend both of them. This is for you to explore. And how you can get a lovely big fascial stretch, which is this connective tissue in the armpits, down the ribs, fascia's everywhere. But in this particular posture, it's like we're getting into the creases, into the edges and the corners of your body. The parts of your body that kind of get a little bit dusty, slightly ignored. And that this is a huge morning stretch. You can play around with bringing the arms right down towards your thighs, curve your back. And then inhale, bring the arms up over the head, arch your spine slightly. And play around with taking the arms behind you. And then let go of your strap. Roll the shoulders a little bit, wiggle the elbows, the wrists, the joints, the fingers. And we're going to come into a nice big shoulder stretch. There are two different ways that we can take this stretch. So I'm going to show the most traditional way, which is probably going to suit most people more. You're going to lie on your belly and slide your right hand out long, all the way over to the right. And notice that my right hand is actually straight in line with my right shoulder. It's not down by my thigh, it's out to the side. Then you begin to roll over the right shoulder itself, the head of the shoulder. Left foot is going to step behind your right thigh. So getting a good step down with that left foot is going to help protect your lower back, any tenderness that you might be feeling there. Rest the head to the ground. If you need a cushion underneath it, totally fine. And then leave the left hand out in front of you for the moment. This may be enough for you. Eventually, if you want a little bit more, you may be able to interlace your left fingers with your right behind you. Otherwise, you can grab your strap and grab your strap in either hand and play around with that. That's not always necessary for you to take the bind or take the strap. Completely up to you. Now, the second version that you might want to take involves a little bit of leg action. It's not for everybody, I'm going to say that right now, but maybe it's just what you need. Your arms are essentially, your right arm is doing the same thing. You're going to start with your legs in this slightly more zigzag position. So I've got my right leg out in front of me. My left leg is a little bit more behind me. And I'm turning to the right. And I'm starting to walk my belly down. My left leg, notice, is coming off the floor, and that's good. Right arm is then going to slide to where it was before with the other option. Right hand out wide. Left arm, left hand, then may catch the left foot and plant the toes towards the floor. The left knee won't be on the ground, it's up. And this is going to be a juicy thigh stretch for your left leg. So this really is not for everybody. And perhaps you're going, what the no, I don't want to do it. Then don't do it. Stay in the original version. Nothing crazy with the legs. So it's essentially kind of a little bit like a cat pulling its tail, and you're getting that real stretch in your thigh. Anyone running at the moment? You're welcome. So stay where you are. I'm going to flip around and show it from a different angle. If you're happy where you are, that's all you need to do right now for the next couple of minutes. From a slightly different angle, not sure if that's any better or any worse. And you will really start to feel it at the head of the right shoulder. At any point, anyone who is grabbing the foot wants to release the foot, then you're welcome to. I'm going to give you about 3 more really long breaths where you are before we come out. Big breath in. Big breath out. If you have interlaced the fingers, maybe it's time to let go of the strap and bring the left hand forward in front of you. 1 more breath in. As you exhale, your legs are going to start to roll back. The hips roll back. The belly rolls back. The chest rolls back. And both of your arms come down by your sides, and you rest your left cheek on the mat. And you lie there. So this is your rebound. This is you lying down with nothing else, no extra stretches, just relax, rebound. Let the right shoulder rest. That you let go of judgment, that you let go of expectation of yourself. That you let go of the ego telling you that it wants to go harder or faster or deeper. Because that might not be beneficial right now. We must listen. You're going to leave your head where it is, those of you who want to go straight for the option 1. So your left cheek is on the mat, and then you let your left hand go out wide to the side. You begin to roll over the left shoulder and let your right foot step behind the left thigh. You can leave your right hand in front of you, or eventually you can interlace your fingers or use your strap. If you wanted to do the funky legs, there's that little sort of Z shape in your legs, and you start to twist towards the left and slide the left hand out, and then maybe reach right hand towards the right foot, and imagine someone's pulling the thigh away from you. So it's not pushing the thigh down, it's pulling it away. You don't have to hold on to this forever. And any stages that you need to come out, then absolutely fine. You do whatever you need to do. Try and close the eyes. Every now and again, have this moment where you connect again with the ground, with the earth. That we're somehow taking this energy from it, this sense of grounding. And it's okay to adjust the postures that you're in. If you were in the funky legs and you want to change, then you can change the legs without having to change the arms and the upper body. And take one more minute where you are. Take 3 more long breaths. If you're holding the foot, start to let go of the foot. If you're interlacing your fingers, release your interlace. And very slowly again, you're going to start to roll back onto your belly. Legs, hips, belly, chest. And rest your right cheek onto the mat, arms down by your sides. Stay here in your rebound pose. Again, it's almost this energy exchange between you and what's beneath you right now. We're going to come into a small Sphinx pose. So you're already on your belly. And you're going to start to slide your forearms underneath you. Walk your forearms forward. And you want to line your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Point your feet, squeeze your bum. Claw the fingers slightly to the floor without adding any tension into your neck. And it's like you're kind of clawing your fingers and pulling down. So rather than dumping all of the weight into the lumbar spine, you squeeze. You're magnetically kind of pulling your forearms in towards the direction of your hips and your legs. Try and keep your collarbones broad and your shoulders broad. Your chin slightly down. And you may even want to play around with your head and your neck here. You can roll the head from side to side, add side tilts with your head. Actually, the side tilts with your head are really lovely in Sphinx. Just tilt the left ear over the left shoulder. Hold that there. Have that magnetic sort of engagement and pull with your forearms. And then switch. And try that a couple of times. Head from side to side. See where you feel the sensation. And then slowly ripple your chest down to the ground. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes and press back into a child's pose for 1 minute. Knees can be wide or narrow. You can have a pillow underneath you, pillow under your forehead. Rest your arms, rest your belly down. Rest your forehead and breathe here. We're going to take a version of pigeon, which I've targeted to be about the side of your body, stretching down the side. So Ripple your head back up. We're going to go right shin forward first. So bring your right shin towards your wrist or towards the top edge of the mat. Now this is where you might want your sort of cushion to come underneath your right butt cheek or your right thigh to avoid from sinking over to one side. Keep your engagement here. So your hip bones are going straight forward. And then what I want is when you tilt your torso forward, you're actually going to tilt your torso on a diagonal line. You're going to go to the left. You're going to walk your hands all the way to the top left corner. Slide them away. Feel as though someone's pulling you back through your hips, and you can then rest your forehead down. Now you may want to actually just come straight more up onto your forearms like you did in Sphinx. You may want to rest your head upon your hands. Up to you. Maybe you're more on one side, you kind of drop down a little bit onto your right side. Completely up to you what kind of version of this particular pigeon that you want to take. Your legs are in the traditional position, and your upper body is walking to the left. So actually you get the right hand side of your body is in a big stretch right now. At any point you think, I need to come back into the center, into the original version of pigeon, of course you can take that, 100%. Sometimes we do need to mix it up a little bit. So you go into whatever is suiting you in the current moment. I want to talk about pigeon for a moment. Having your heel bone close to your groin is still pigeon. If your foot is parallel with your knee, then that's also pigeon, and anywhere in between. But it depends on your bone structure, where your thigh bone sits in your hip socket, the size of the head of your thigh bone, the size of your hip socket, how deep it goes in, how narrow or how shallow it is. So there are so many variants as to why some people can do the splits or can have their shin parallel with the top edge of the mat, and why some people can't get to that position at all and never will. It's bone structure, it's DNA. And those are the things that we have to learn to accept, because they don't change. So we've got about 1.5 minutes in this posture. Breathe into the back of your body. And those of you that are really quite far over to the left still, start to walk your hands back up bit by bit, more into center, and we'll all meet there. come out of the pose, you're going to come into a rebound where you can lie on your back. So here you can remove the cushion if you've got it underneath your right thigh. Roll towards the right. Slide your legs out in front of you. And lie yourself down. Get the blood back into your right leg. Roll down. If you want to have the soles of your feet together, knees open, or the feet wide and the knees together, then that's up to you. You can always press into the thighs, hands to your belly. You start to move your fingers and your toes. Draw your knees up towards your chest and either rock or sway to the side or upwards. To bring yourself to the other side of your pigeon. So you want to bring your left shin forward. Take your time. If you need to do anything in between the sides, then that's fine. You do what you need to do. Your left shin is going to come forward to wherever it's most comfortable to be. Use that cushion underneath your left thigh if you need to. Watch the hip bones. Make sure the back foot isn't completely sickled, so you can just check it out a little bit. Point straight down the mat. And then you can walk your hands to the top right corner of the room. And as you sort of sink into this pose, imagine someone's pulling the hips back in the opposite direction that the upper body is going in. Remember your options. You can go long with the arms. You can be in more sphinx. You can rest your head to your hands. Or you can come back into that more central position of pigeon at any point that you want. But maybe have a moment to play. Perhaps you need to lean into one side, probably your left-hand side more. We want to find these moments of stillness and silence and space that you don't have to fill, that you don't have to keep filling with busyness. And if anything comes of this time that we're in right now, it is that we don't have to fill our time the way that we may have used to. that we are being given permission to rest, to slow down, to be more grounded. And maybe for you that sparks innovation, creativity. Maybe it gives you permission to heal. To be confronted with things that you may have been resisting. We're all going to experience this whole moment in time differently. But we're all bound together from it. So you're going to have about 3 more big breaths where you are. Feed the back of your body with your breath. If you're really far over to the right corner, start to walk yourself back in. And everyone then gently walk your hands back towards your left shin. Remove the cushion from under your left thigh if it's there and roll, sink over to your left butt cheek. Swing your legs round in front of you and lie down into your rebound pose. So whether you want to have the soles of your feet together, legs long, or knees together, up to you. You lie there in your comfortable place. Let the blood rush back into your left leg. Let the dust settle right now in this sensation that you might be feeling in your legs and in your hips. And a lot of these postures can evoke a lot of fierceness and fire, confrontation. It's how we tread upon it, gently. That I believe to be a huge learning curve, a huge lesson. Start to move your fingers and toes again. We're going to go for 1 more posture. Inhale, bring the arms up, and exhale, hug your knees to your chest. Rock yourself up and down or roll to the side. And our final posture is a toe squat, or I call it fire toes. And this is pretty much everything I was just talking about before. Stay with your breath. Be gentle with this posture, even though it's going to feel like it's firing up something in you. Stay calm. Stay with your breath. Enjoy it. So toe squat. Which way is best to you here? Great. Come into all fours. Tuck your toes. Bring your legs together. Squeeze your thighs together. Squeeze your knees together. Toes really tucked. And you're going to sit your bum down on your heels and sit up tall. Spread your toes out wide. Place your hands on your thighs, or maybe hands on your body. Close your eyes and sit here. Keep your legs together. Try and keep your head upon your shoulders upon your hips. And we're going to take 8 long breaths here. Inhale for 1. Exhale completely. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale, 3. Exhale. Fill up the body with your breath. Inhale, 4. Feel free to exhale through the mouth. Inhale, 5. Exhale. Inhale, 6. Exhale. Inhale, 7. Exhale. Final breath. Inhale, 8. Exhale. Walk your hands forward and out of the pose. Point your feet and start to tap your feet to the ground. And now you're going to find Shavasana for you. So with Shavasana, if you want to lie your legs long, if you want to have a cushion, bolster, whatever you've got underneath your knees, then that's a great place to be. If you'd actually prefer to be more seated, then you can come into a meditative seat. Wrap yourself up in jumpers and blankets and anything else that you have and you want to use. Close your eyes, maybe lower the lights a little bit more. Get yourself nice and comfortable and take a big breath in through your nose and a long sigh out through your mouth. Let the sensation in your toes come back to you. If you're seated, feel free to come into the mudra that we did right at the beginning. Left hand to heart, right fingers to the ground. And stay where you are. I'll bring you out of your Shavasana in a few minutes. Take this time. And then begin to deepen your breath. And rest your awareness into the flow of your breath. And rest your awareness into the whole of your body. And begin to move your fingers, move your toes. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Exhale, hug your knees to your chest. And start to bring yourself into a comfortable seat, into the middle of your mat. And we're going to come back into our mudra with the left hand to the heart and the right hand to the ground. And I want to read, I don't usually read a huge amount, but I want to read something about this particular mudra from the Buddhist religion, and tradition and belief of this mudra. So keep the eyes closed. And it's believed that the entire cosmos is a cooperative. That the moon, the sun, the stars all live together. The same is true for humans and animals, trees, and the earth. When we realize the world is a neutral, interdependent, cooperative enterprise, then we can build a noble environment. If we live our lives not based on this truth, then we shall perish. This belief that we're all equal, that we all have the right to be here, no one more than the other, that we have to work together, give space for one another, for every element to truly strive. And bring your hands together, dip your chin down, take a bow to your practice. And how this is all so true within your own little universe of yourself, that the layers of your body, of your mental, of your physical, of your emotional, of your bliss body are a cooperative. And we cannot just focus on one, we have to work them together. That they are all deserving of your awareness and your attention, of your love. Take a final breath in and a final breath out. Namaste.